And I said, no, my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today.
Good morning, friends, and this is your moment to be amazed because I have an amazing guest for you, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. You get a ring of the victory bell for being so amazing, and let me tell you all about my next amazing guest. Her name is Jennifer Takagi, the 12-minute success coach and certified high performance coach. She helps women discover the power of their purpose by tapping into their truths and honing their intuitions and trusting themselves so they can have the clarity and confidence to create the next level of success they desire. Utilizing multiple modalities, she helps women release the trapped emotions and imbalances that are holding them back from the life they are destined to live. She also helps clients achieve their dreams by breaking them down into simple 12-minute increments. Along the way, she's trained over 10,000 people, written 6 best-selling books on Amazon, launched a podcast with over 24,000 unique downloads. It's been an amazing ride, and you can't wait to see what's next. So without any further delay, the one, the only, the person that walked uphill to school both ways, barefoot in the snow, the one and only Jennifer Takagi. Welcome, Jennifer. How you doing today? Oh, sorry, you're muted. Go ahead, try it again.
I'm great. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad that you're here. And if my audience is out there, if you're live, you thrive. If you're on the replay, you get to play again. Make sure you hit that link down below, facebook.com/StreamYard. Hit accept. So that way Facebook and StreamYard can be best friends, just like me and Jennifer are today. So Jennifer, let's just dive right in. I got some amazing questions for you. And really, I just want to get to know you because we've known each other now for a couple of years, and we finally got you on the show. I want to ask you now, your approach, which I love, your approach emphasizes breaking down goals into 12-minute increments. Why 12 minutes, and how did you discover this method? Like, why do you believe it's so effective for busy people?
Thanks for that question, Raja. I actually raised my hand to speak at an association luncheon, and I wanted to teach on Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles.
Yep.
And his first principle is take 100% responsibility for every aspect of your life. And I first thought, oh, I do that. Like, I take complete responsibility. But if you've ever been late, you didn't take responsibility. You didn't leave in time. You didn't plan for the other possibilities, right? That's just like a simple example of where we don't take 100% responsibility. But it gives you a little bit of an out and says, what if you took 5% more? So as I was putting together my training, what is 5%? Like how is that going to show up in your life? And when I looked at how my day progressed, I had 3 4-hour increments from 8 to noon when I first got to work, then from 1 to 5. And then when I got home in the evenings, I basically had from 6 to 10.
Yeah.
In any of those 4-hour increments, I had to get a calculator out. I'm not a math wizard, but there are 240 minutes in a 4-hour period. 5% of that is 12 minutes. So then it became a quest of what can I accomplish in 12 minutes? We often look at our to-do list and we become very overwhelmed. It seems big. There's a lot going on, and we don't get it done because we never start. But if we commit to 12 minutes, for instance, a big one for me is going through the mail that I allow to stack up on the kitchen table.
Of course. Yeah, I know that. I know that.
If I spend 12 minutes and I start throwing away all the junk mail first, Then in 12 minutes, I have only things I like actually need to work on. Okay, great. I can either keep going or I can put it aside for another 12-minute round, right? Like I have a
Right.
choice there, but I've made headway. And sometimes just getting the momentum going is the most
Hmm.
important part.
Indeed, it really is. And so after this method, like in your experience, like you were talking about how you've helped over 10,000 individuals. What common emotional or like energetic barriers do people face? And how do they overcome them in such a short time frame?
Right. So I ended up on this path of learning different modalities of healing. And one of them
Hmm.
is the emotion code, which was
Yeah.
created, established by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And I'm a
Hmm.
certified emotion code practitioner. And in
Hmm.
that process, you literally quickly and easily identify the emotion that's holding you back. There could be two or three or five in one session, and there could be one. And it's only
Hmm.
one because it's the biggest one you need to move forward. So, as I work with clients, we talk about what is not happening the way they want it to, or what's happening and they don't like it.
Right.
And then we're
Hmm.
able to quickly and easily identify that emotion and release it. So, yes, I actually do one on one sessions with clients that are 12 minutes long, and we make a lot of headway in 12
Oh,
minutes.
really? You do 12-minute
Yeah.
coachings. Awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember like in the beginning when I always started like one-on-one coaching, I started with 1 hour increments and it was just way too long. And I cut it down to 30 minutes. Now it's 25 minutes. So I have a 5 minute break in between like those Pomodoro that you hear about in the 12-week year. And
Yeah.
I may have to consider shortening it up even more. That sounds like a great idea. Um,
Yes.
what about uh, you often talk about taking responsibility for one's success. Now, I read the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and like Leif Babin years ago, and I loved that because that really spoke to me as a black belt. Is that you take ownership for what you do, how you train, how you show up in the world. Can you share an example of how that small, consistent efforts, like those 12 minutes a day, um, uh, can affect the rest of your day?
It really can. Recently, I had my knee replaced. It was kind of a big deal. I didn't want to do it, and I put it off like almost too long. So by
Hmm.
the time I got to the hospital, I was like really not in good shape. And
Hmm.
as I came out and went through physical therapy, I'm a great healer. I follow all the rules, all the instructions. So I healed
Yep.
very rapidly compared to some other people.
Hmm.
But she said, ride this exercise bike for 10 minutes. And I chuckled to myself, nope, I can ride it for 12. So I went home and on my in between days of physical therapy, I started riding the bike for 12-minute increments. And that
Yeah.
really built up my stamina and helped me heal faster. So that's like one easy thing I can do. And there's somebody watching and they're thinking, 12 minutes on a recumbent exercise bike, like that's nothing. How stupid. But if you're doing zero and you
Yeah.
go to 12 minutes, it's a
It's huge.
thing.
It's
It's a
huge.
thing.
Woo! You get a victory belt for
Yeah.
that because that's beautiful. And I know because like my mom just came home from the hospital after about 3 months of bouncing around between hospitals and ICU and rehab and back to the hospital. And now she's back home finally, but she's still on oxygen. And believe me, it's been rough on all of us. And I always tell her, listen, all it takes is you to do to like build up her lung capacity. She's got to breathe through that inspirometer
Yeah.
to rebuild her lung muscles. I keep telling her, her lung muscles are like lazy teenagers. You got to train them to get stronger. And so she gets that analogy. She's like, "Oh, okay. I have to practice them." I said, "Right." And so that 12 minutes that you talked about, it means the world, doesn't it?
It does. And so if you think about 12 minutes a day over 365 days, I believe that comes out to 73 hours. It's either 73 or 76. Do the math. I'm not the math wizard. What
Right.
have you worked on with a consistent, dedicated effort for 73 hours over a year? Nothing. right? Like we say we're going to, and we don't. So if you really put in the effort every day for 12 minutes, it would end up being over 70 hours in a year. And I talk to clients about writing a book. A lot of people want to write a book and they get overwhelmed. We'll break down the various steps of writing a book into 12-minute increments. 12 minutes on what stories could I possibly include in that book. And just, you don't write the whole story out. You just like a little bullet point of what it could be. Then the next time you sit down, just randomly pick 3. Don't belabor the point. Spend 12 minutes, read the list, pick 3. Those are the 3 stories you want to start building out, right? So now you've got momentum. You're making things happen slowly but surely and consistently. So then you can just keep ticking off. I did 12 minutes today. I did 12 minutes today. I did 12 minutes today. Knowing that at the end of the year, you're going to have really spent some really focused, highly focused time on that task.
I love it. I love it. Now, speaking of ways to keep it improving, I want to share down below. You have a gift for the audience, right? So this 12minutegift.com, please tell the audience, like, what are they going to get when they click on that link?
Yeah. So one of my best-selling books on Amazon was 12 Minutes to Success, Reach Your Goals in 12-minute increments. And I took that and broke it down into a 3-part audio series. That way it can go with you everywhere. You can listen in the car. You can listen while you're walking, while you're riding that bike for 12 minutes. And they're each about a 20-minute segment. And I talk about the wins. The W is the wiring of your brain. And we have the stories, we have the lessons, we have the messages, and they may not be working well any longer. So let's start noticing the stories you're telling yourself and then rewrite that so that you can rewire your brain.
I love
the
it. I love
second
it.
piece is all about imagination. And when we were kids, we were so great at imagining. And the story I like to share is my older sister and I would lay on the grass looking at the clouds in Oklahoma, and the wind comes sweeping down those plains. So those clouds don't stay long. But I would say, look, there's an elephant. It should say, there's not an elephant. I'd say, yes, there is. Pardon me. And by then, the elephant would be gone. So it was too late at that point. So what is your imagination? What is your dream for your life? So the second part is all about setting up the future reality you want. What do you want your life to look like? Then the N in the win is next steps. And that's where you take what you want your life to be, how you want it to be, and break it down into the 12-minute increments so you can really get going. So in this training session, if you will, in this podcast, audio podcast, I share way more in depth on those 3 elements.
Excellent. Excellent. So if you want to get those benefits, make sure you click on Jennifer's gift link down below. So now, right now, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the softer side of Sears, because people join a person, not a business. I'd love for everybody to find out a little bit more about Jennifer. Tell me a little bit more about, where did you grow up and how did you grow up?
Yes, I was born and raised in Oklahoma City. I still live there. I moved around and lived in other places. We lived in Tulsa and Dallas. I went to school in Mexico, Spain, and France, getting my degree from the University of Oklahoma. And I always went back home. It's a nice place to live. It's a safe place to live. The cost of living is great. My parents are now deceased, but my parents were there, my sisters. My brother had lived out of state, but we're just all there. And I love the family dynamic. I love having all the holidays together. So I can get on a plane and go wherever I want to go. But Oklahoma City's home.
Beautiful. And so now, growing up, was there any film that inspired you to raise your imagination to the next level or become who you are today?
I love movies and I watch so many movies and I take something from all of them. It's pretty rare for me to go, oh, I hated that movie. I hear people say all the time, oh, I hated that. No, I love them all. I take something away from all of them. But I think the most important lesson that I really took away was my mom, when I was probably 12 or 13, she took
Yep.
some classes with her friends at the community college.
Yeah.
And one of them really was on visualization. And so
Oh,
when
okay.
something would come up in school and I'd be worried about a test or an upcoming project, she'd say, all right, well, let's just sit down and visualize that your name shows up with that A by it or whatever the situation was.
Yep.
And so I think my sisters and brother probably didn't get that because I'm the youngest, but
Yeah.
that really made a big difference. So I think that opened me up to the possibilities of manifesting and using your gifts and talents and bringing true and into your life what you want to bring into
Oh,
your
that's
life.
beautiful. I wish I had that because all my parents ever said was study hard, get straight A's, or else.
Yeah, or else.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's the expectations of a first generation Asian family.
Yeah.
So now, was there a favorite book that helped really inspire you or launch your way of thinking?
Again, there have been so many, and I've listened to so many audiobooks. I love
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Oh my
I
God, me
think
too.
in my entrepreneurial journey, probably
Yeah.
the one that really like kicked things off for me was Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I signed up to become a certified success principle trainer, and I
Yeah.
am, and that's where the book came from. The first
Yeah.
principle, I got really caught up
Mhm.
on that first one.
Yep.
And but that book on just being the person you need to be and showing up the way you need to show up. And his background on that book was he interviewed a whole bunch of people to find out what they were doing consistently that led to success. So that probably was one of the first ones. Now there are so many more, but I'm going to say in my entrepreneurial journey, that one was probably it.
That's beautiful. I love it. And like I remember Jack Canfield's book, a Chicken Soup for the Soul, and
Yes.
how much that changed a lot of people's lives. And
Yes.
so that's kind of what my book was based off of the like Bluetooth Blue Talks experts is it's like a mix of like Chicken Soup for the Soul and a TEDx. And so you get these amazing stories of people overcoming life's challenges and showing how they got their success. Now, what is your favorite kind of music? What do you love? What kind of jams you?
So like I like really peppy, zippy, fun
Yeah.
music. Alicia Keys' song "Girl on
Mm.
Fire" has got to
Oh
be
yeah,
one of the top.
great.
Um, my husband and I have a little lake house, and I have a newer used golf cart that has a Bluetooth stereo. And
No
my
way.
girlfriend and I,
That's funny.
my husband had left in his golf cart, so my girlfriend rode with me, and I put that song on. And we were going 2 miles. It's a golf cart area, so we were completely legal, but we're going down the street to some friend's house that are 2 miles away. And as
Yeah,
we went, I pulled into every driveway of our friends, not just
yeah.
random strangers, but our friends. And we're singing at the top of our lungs. I have it really, really loud. And
That's awesome.
we finally make it to our
Yeah.
destination. And I looked at her and I went, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I had this song on repeat. So for the 10-15 minute golf cart ride, we were
Yeah.
singing the same Girl on Fire the whole way. And that is one
That's
that,
hilarious.
you wake up not feeling your best self for some stupid reason. Like, why wouldn't you? But occasionally it happens.
Yeah.
That song can like just turn it around.
I know, and like my experience with music. Music for me for me, I always say like sing, let your spirit fly, and really that's what it feels like for me. Like music is freedom, and
Yes.
I encourage everybody out there go find your song that you walk out to. What's your walkout song? What's your stage song? And I always tell people, when you find it, all of a sudden you feel like your soul is in alignment with the universe, doesn't it? Um,
It really
so.
does.
So this leads us to our next fun question. I always love this. What is your favorite food?
I'm going to fight all the time between Mexican and Italian.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just nonstop. I'm in Spain right now as we're doing this. I'm in Marbella, Spain, looking at the
Wow.
beautiful Mediterranean. And 2 days before I left, one of my friends said, "Meet me for lunch. We have to have Mexican food. You're going to be gone a month and you won't have the same chips and salsa."
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. And in order for you to have a flavor of both of those. All right. Hello, Olive Garden. Yeah, we need a palette of Italian food in the green room, and please pick up the connection to the chilies. We want one of each platter over there. So we want Mexican and Italian. There you go. So totally my real call to those two restaurants. You're going to get some amazing food in the green room. So before we shift gears into our next segment, into our sponsor segment, I want to ask you, what is it? What's the one thing you want people to recall about you?
One thing I want them to recall about me, that I am fun and approachable. I think those are together. That's one word, fun, approachable.
Unapproachable. I like it. I like it. All right. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being here and being so amazing. You're going to ring the victory bell. Make sure you click on her link down below in the show notes, and we will see you in just a moment after the next segment. So while Jennifer is enjoying all that food, I'd like to thank our sponsors. First of all, I'd like to thank Talkadat. Just a couple of weeks ago, just by using my QR code to get feedback after my keynote, I got 105 of feedback from the room in less than 1 hour. So make sure you click on that link down below. We have our amazing Potapalooza is coming up. Thank you, Kimberly Crow. Woo! That event is coming up in just a couple of weeks, November 13th. So make sure you click on that link below and join us. It is one of the most powerful places for podcasters and guests to connect. So not only will you enjoy watching all the amazing speakers and interviews, if you're a podcaster or show host, you also get a chance to be a feature show host and interview people during that event live. And lastly, for those that have not been a part of this, my Speaker Confidence Mastermind that I used to charge for every single month is now a one-time donation for lifetime access. Yes, I'm always creating more impact, finding ways to expand your chance of learning. So that is your opportunity to connect with us. So make sure you click on that link, pay the one-time donation. It's only $25. Everybody can afford that, and join us for lifelong learning. All right, folks. So now, as we move on, I want to ask you something. If you have not branded yourself yet, what are you waiting for? Here's an example of what we can do for you and make sure that you show off the best version of yourself.
When you throw a rock into a lake, what happens? No, there's a splash. You make an impact, and then you get waves. And then you don't know where those waves are going. Those waves are going past around the reeds, and you don't know where that impact is. So all of you out there, when you're on stage, you don't know where your impact is going to end. It's never going to end.
All right, folks. Thanks for being here and being so amazing. So now, Jennifer talked about Jack Canfield's #1 training where he talked about take ownership. I want to parallel that with what I learned from the book Extreme Ownership, as well as the other book, The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran. Now, in Extreme Ownership, we learn about how if you take extreme ownership for what you're doing now, these two were members of the SWAT team in Afghanistan, 2 tours. So what they did mattered every single day, every single time, right? So you can't blame anybody else, because when you're in charge of a platoon of soldiers, you can't blame anybody else. Everything falls on your shoulders. Now, myself as a grandmaster in the martial arts, over 40 years in Tang Soo Do, guess what? What happens with my students is up to me. Their failures are my fault. Their wins are theirs. So that's the way I like to teach and train, is that if something falls short, it's on me. I should have explained something more. And if they win, hey, they did the work. It's fantastic. And that's why I love to uplift others in my life. Now, you may have heard me in times before. I have a speech impediment. I used to not have a voice, and I realized only in recent years it doesn't matter anymore, because people out there that are in need what you're teaching. That's why I launched Victory Mindset Academy, and that's why I told you join that free coaching group. It is your opportunity to uplift yourself in the ways that I've learned myself, and I've defined this in 5 different pillars where I talk about health, wealth, mindset, faith, and family. And like a rising tide, it raises all the ships in your life. So come join us every single week and find out if you take extreme ownership in your growth and training, you will find that that's where you will find your success. So let's bring back Jennifer and find out if she saved me any food. Jennifer, how was the food in the green room?
Oh, it was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So you heard the 60-second mind shift. What was your big takeaway from that, and what would you add to it?
There's just so much goodness. Yeah, we have to just make those choices and decisions that we're going to show up as our best every day. Like, we have those possibilities. I totally love the fact that wins are your clients' wins and failures fall back on you as the leader. That was very powerful.
Oh, thank you so much, Jennifer. And everybody else that's watching on the replay, don't forget, give us some thumbs ups, give us some hearts if you got value, and so we can keep on bringing you amazing guests just like Jennifer. And once again, I'm going to share with you her freebie gift link. Make sure you grab that. It is right there, the 12minutegift.com. Make sure you grab that. For those of you listening either on YouTube or on Facebook or on the podcast or on Instagram or more, we're going into LinkedIn Lives next month as well. So keep tuning in. We are expanding our brand and expanding our impact every single day. So thank you so much, Jennifer. Now, we got one last question for you. If somebody gave you a blank check and said, what is your grand vision to change the world, what would you do?
I think it's that whole idea of impacting one life at a time. One life impacts 10 lives, impacts 10 times 10, and the math keeps going on. We need a calculator for that. So I'm going to say the check would be to create a bigger impact.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So just create that exponential growth. 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, and just onward, right? Second star to the right, on to infinity. All right, folks, thank you so much. You heard it here first. The amazing Jennifer Takagi. Give her a big round of applause. Woo! She gets to ring the victory bell, and we are out of here. Thank you so much for being amazing. And as always, this is Coach Raja. Believe it and become it. All right, Jennifer. So for the next 60 seconds, real quick, we're going to do your testimonial, 3 quick questions, and we are out of here. Number 1, what was your favorite part of being on the show today?
I love that you were so well organized and you knew exactly where you were going the whole entire time. It made it very simple.
Thank you very much. Awesome. And what was your biggest takeaway from any part of the training here today?
I think my biggest part was the fact when you said that your clients' wins are theirs and their failures are yours. You're going to find out where the breakdown was. That was just very powerful and insightful on your part.
Oh, thank you very much. And it's the same thing in the martial arts. Is every black belt, when you're teaching, it's up to you to inspire and teach your students. It truly is. And there's no blame. It's always about how can we move the needle forward. And last question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
Oh, absolutely. A 10 for sure.
Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. All right, folks, we are out of here. The podcast crew knows what to do from here. So we are gone. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day. And as I always say, make it a great day with VMA. See you soon.